Get it on the wrong camera, you
Well, I
silly.
wanted to see it before I flipped it real quick to see
Okay.
if it was gonna be too dark without the lights on.
Is it?
Well, I wasn't really asking for. It should be fine.
Hey everyone. All right. Okay. Welcome to our second live back, and today I have a fun one for you. Clue with magnifying glass included. We're lucky. Laura messaged me once, I think it was, and said that she did one, but no magnifying glass. You know how sucky that would be to reach the end and be like, I can't solve the mystery. I can't solve anything without my funky red light. I mean, you can. I did flip through the book this time beforehand, and I mean, you could read that without the red light. It would just be really irritating. So, the good news is, this is only 500 pieces. Sad. I'm a little sad about that, to be perfectly honest. He's not. But the person who had this before was kind enough to say that they did have 2 pieces missing from the puzzle, which was super cool. I love people like that. Anyways, that is the lowdown. Death in the First Edition. Someone killed Dr. David Black again. These people really do not like this man. I don't know what this Dr. David Black ever did to them. Like, dude, bro, poor dude. You can only kill him so many ways. Alright. You got some people? Yeah, no comments or anything to get caught up on? Alright, okay. So, I do have a question later for you guys. Whether you're on now or later when you're checking out the video after the fact, I need your help deciding something for next week's live stream. It is going to pretty much be an all-day event. So, I need your help choosing what puzzle to do. Ooh, hit my head. Ooh. Once upon a time, Spider Peter asked me to do a 3,000-piece puzzle, and I'm going to finally be able to deliver. We will do this for you live next Wednesday. Kind of bring back a little bit of that big puzzle vibe we had going on for a while. But the problem is I have 2 3,000-piece puzzles. And I love them both equally, and I could not ever possibly decide which one to do. So, the question I pose to you guys, which one would you like to see and hang out with me next week and do? The cool little stamps, all the animals, or the African animals? Animal choices, sorry, that's all you get. Anyways, if you see this while you're hopping on, please feel free to vote in here, or please feel free to leave a comment after the fact. Absolutely, all votes will count, because I really need help. I could never be able to decide. Oh, 4 watching now. That's exciting. Hello, everyone. Oh. We have another long-winded story this week. It's 12 pages, but it is written in large print, which is very nice. Yay! Okay. Should I just start reading the small novel? You think so?
Yes.
Yes? You don't really want to hear the small novel, do you? You don't seem very impressed.
Well, you start losing interest of it because it's not. It's you just want to get to the puzzle and try to and figure the mystery out.
Yes and no. Yes. Okay. I'm so glad it's in large print though. Like that cuts it in half. Alright, so I gather from my magnifying glass and mystery solving skills here that this is a puzzle about a lot of books. Apparently this dude is having a Great Expectations dinner, which is a book that is very popular, and I cannot think of the author right now. I feel like I really should though. But that's okay. Apparently I don't know books. We have a menu. So, Dr. David Black's Great Expectations dinner. Dry martinis, Oliver Twist, salad, bleak house dressing, Dover sole, Dublin Bay prawns, whatever those are, Tale of Two Cities, the Old Curiosity Shop, and Barnaby Fudge, coffee, tea, and liqueurs. So I'm gathering that all the things in the fancy font are book titles, and I kind of wonder if those are somehow important, but I don't believe I took note of all of them. I know 2 of them, Oliver Twist and A Tale of Two Cities. Things look real weird through this, by the way. Just so you know, y'all look real weird. Hello. Okay. Death in the First Edition. To Charles John Huffman Dickens. There was an odd response to his toast as Dr. David Black, oh, he's alive, lifted his wine glass above the heads of his 6 seated guests. None of them smiled or showed the slightest answering sentiment. In fact, a flash photograph of the scene would have revealed a frown, a scowl, a glare, and in the case of at least 3 of the diners, a grimace of pure hatred. What did he do? The truth is, not one of the guests wanted to be present at what Dr. Black, with his Dickensian obsessions, called his Great Expectations dinner party. Oh, Charles Dickens wrote it. Oh, that's exciting. Look, I learned something. / remembered something. Don't look at me like that. Not only did they despise Dr. Black, they loathed exposing themselves to each other's company. Both reactions were easy to understand. All 6 of Dr. Black's guests were his patients. Very special patients, all suffering from the same disease, blackmail. They had all growled with displeasure when they received the dinner invitation, but they knew Dr. Black too well to be surprised. It wasn't the first time they had been forced into his company. Black, with typical self-delusion, preferred to believe he was offering therapy to his victims. The payments he extorted from them were presented as medical services, but there was no hope of recovering the staggering sums from the National Health Service, since Dr. Black's title was no longer legitimate. Black didn't mind giving up his medical practice. He was far too interested in his hobby, or rather, his passion. Dr. Black collected rare books. He loved first editions. He crooned over the ancient leather-bound works. He went into raptures at the rare book auctions and exhibitions, but he also discovered the sad fact that most rare book prices were well beyond the income of a simple village physician. Fortunately for him, Dr. Black discovered an effective way to meet those costs. He had several wealthy patients with country homes in the vicinity of his small office. With innocent questions about their history, he slowly gathered a list of secrets that were worth a small fortune. Oh, I get why they hate him now. When one of the early victims threatened to expose him to the authorities, Black took care of that difficulty. He resigned his practice and retired to indulge his hobby, collecting books and blackmail fees. Those fees mounted steadily over the years. Dr. Black accumulated so many fine books, including a dozen sets of the first edition Dickens, that he was soon crowded out of his modest cottage. He knew he would have to move to find a new home for his precious volumes, and then the perfect opportunity came his way. Tender Close was for sale. It was one of Inks' furnishings and splendid grounds, but Tender Close had something Dr. Black valued even more. It had a magnificent library. As the dinner grew to a close, Dr. Black grew more and more exhilarated at the prospect of showing off his new acquisition. It was true the library wasn't quite finished. There was still some cataloging to be done, some shelves to be adjusted, some titles to be arranged, and Dr. Black was painfully meticulous about having everything in alphabetical order. He was proud of the room's thick carpeting, its wood paneling, the chess table with its exquisite alabaster pieces, and most of all, he was proud of his books. Then the waiting was over. The last liqueur was drowned, the last mint digested, the last toast toasted. Dr. Black rose and ushered his guests to the doors that led to the most important room in Tender Close. With a dramatic flourish, he threw open its doors and let the guests feast their eyes. Professor Peter Plum wasn't impressed by what he saw in Dr. Black's library. A transplanted American, he considered himself more a man of action than of intellect. His favorite room was his home gymnasium. He had read enough books in his academic career, and he hadn't the slightest interest in indoor games. There was only one object in the room that interested him. It was the Roman spear displayed on the far wall. He would have liked nothing better than to yank it from its moorings and bury the blade into Dr. Black's throat, especially after their private conversation before dinner. "It looks like I'll have to increase your medical fee," Dr. Black had told him cheerfully. "Tender Close is wonderful, but the upkeep is horrendous. I'm sure you understand." Professor Plum understood all too well. He had understood Dr. Black from the day the physician came to his house to treat the professor's wife for food poisoning. After none too subtle hints about his monthly health insurance payment, the doctor prepared a death certificate that blamed Mrs. Plum's untimely end on salmonella in the chicken, not on the cyanide in her trifle. Mrs. Elizabeth Peacock had concocted that fatal dessert, as Dr. Black easily determined. She didn't usually choose such unpalatable ingredients. The widowed Mrs. Peacock considered herself a gourmet. She loved to eat well, but she had to admit that there was little pleasure in dining alone. When Professor Plum moved to the neighborhood, she found herself succumbing to his blunt charm. To this day, Mrs. Peacock wasn't sure which one of them proposed the quick solution that would free them to marry. But after the deed was done, the professor and Mrs. Peacock discovered that they had nothing at all in common, except Dr. David Black. "I'm sure that you won't miss 25 pounds a month," Dr. Black had told her with a toothy grin. Eventually, the 25 pounds had become 50, and then 75. And when she received the invitation to the Great Expectations dinner, she felt certain that Dr. Black had new expectations of his own. "It's the taxes, you see," Dr. Black explained, as they roamed the grounds. "They're infernally high in this place for a place of this size. So, shall we make it an even 100? Mrs. Blanche White had been surprised by Dr. Black's decision to seat her with the other guests at the dinner table. She was a servant, after all, and there was still protocol to be observed, even in this liberalized society. In truth, Mrs. White would have been much happier to keep her distance from tender clothes, Dr. Black, and the memory of that terrible night, the night when Professor Plum's wife died, and the physician presented her with what he called the laboratory proof of the fatal error she had made. Mrs. White swore she had prepared the trifle exactly as Mrs. Peacock had ordered, but the doctor had merely looked at her with doleful eyes. "You made an error, Mrs. White," he said gravely. "You added a fatal ingredient without realizing it, and now a woman is dead. But," he sighed, "I don't want you to suffer. If you could possibly manage some compensation." The terrified Mrs. White had only one asset in the world, the trust fund her husband had left her, £12,000 for her old age. The £12,000 was now sitting in Dr. Black's library at tender close, the price he had paid for the 3-part first edition of Oliver Twist. But of course, Mrs. White didn't know a first edition from a fruitcake. All she knew was that Dr. David Black was a man who didn't deserve to live. The Reverend Jonathan Green professed an interest only in one book, but there were many in the Reverend's life, including the little black books filled with names like Happy Dan, Rutabaga, Jolly Warrior, and other charming names the horsemen liked to give their racing breed. The Reverend knew when the addiction began. He had taken a long shot at the urging of a persuasive young lady who found it amusing to watch a man of the cloth imploring heaven for a winner. When the horse, a total of 30-to-1 shot, actually won, she had a new respect for the power of prayer. Unfortunately, Reverend Green also discovered a new respect for the bookmaker's craft. The inevitable had happened. His choices began to falter. Not even the most earnest prayer changed the result at the finish line. He began using the money from the church fund. Even worse, he used money that existed only in his imagination. It's kind of hard to use fake money. One day, in desperation, he placed an enormous wager on a horse named Rosy Fingers. Rosy Fingers came in a poor second, and 2 large, well-muscled men came to the church with a collection plate of their own. Reverend Green suffered a beating that required medical attention. It was under sedation that the Reverend's babbling lips revealed the truth to Dr. David Black. Fortunately, the doctor learned that the lead horse in the fateful race had just been disqualified. Rosy Fingers was the winner, and the bet paid out enough to build a new steeple. But Dr. Black had other ideas. Reverend Green could buy something more precious: his silence. Miss Vivian Scarlett looked into the library and knew immediately what was wrong with the decor. There were no mirrors. A room without any mirrors was useless, in her opinion. What good was being beautiful if you couldn't catch a single glimpse of yourself? Miss Scarlett always needed the reassurance of mirrors, because there were times when men failed her. Dr. Black was the perfect example. When she moved into the vicinity, she had heard the village gossips discuss his skills, his bedside manner, and his bachelorhood. even though Miss Scarlet had a romantic connection, a very rich stockbroker in London, who made generous contributions to her lifestyle. Dr. Black sounded exactly like the kind of man whose attention she craved. She decided to develop symptoms. Dr. Black proved highly susceptible. He was also highly ingenious. He recorded their amorous encounters on film so that he could cherish the memories forever. But one day, he tired of cherishing and decided to profit a bit. He calmly informed Miss Scarlet that he thought her, a stockbroker friend, might enjoy seeing her photographs. It hadn't been easy for Vivian Scarlet to survive only half of the income from her friend in London. But those were Dr. Black's terms. However, just before his Great Expectations dinner, Dr. Black put his arm on her creamy shoulders and said, "I'm afraid the price of film has just gone up." Colonel Mike Mustard didn't even glance at Dr. Black's bookshelves. He did look at his chess table, though, his fingers itching with desire to pit one polished piece against the other. He was a dedicated player, and had once tried to organize a village tournament. It was less than successful. Mrs. Peacock had played a tolerable game, and even her cook knew her way around the board, but neither presented any challenge. Vivian Scarlet was even worse. She spent more time looking in her compact mirror than at the chessman. Reverend Green played a solid game, but he was excruciatingly slow. Only Dr. David Black was a worthwhile opponent, and it had been the basis of their friendship, a friendship that had turned to enmity. One day, at the Colonel's home, Mustard returned from the kitchen with a tea tray and found the doctor examining the medals on display in the glass frame. He thought nothing of it at the time, but on the occasion of their very next game, Dr. Black paused with his black queen twirling between two fingers and said, "By the way, why don't you use the letters VC after your name? You're entitled to do so, since you won the Victorian Cross." Mustard stammered something about modesty, and Dr. Black smiled. "Could it be that the medal doesn't belong to you? I happen to know that all VCs have their recipient's name on the back. I flipped it over, and it seemed to be awarded to a Major Weaver. It would be interesting to find out how you got it." Dr. Black never found out, because Mustard shared half his retirement pay with him every month. The thought of those payments made his fingers itch again, for the feel of Dr. Black's throat. It was a grueling evening for all concerned, although Dr. Black seemed to enjoy it immensely. He regaled them with a story about a Christmas carol, about Dickens' almost Scrooge-like disappointment with the initial sales. "The great Christmas myth of our time," Black said with a Beretic smile. "You can forget Ebenezer and the ghost of Jacob Marley, and Bob Cratchit and Tiny Tim." His guests perfectly willing to forget all of them and go home, but nature conspired against them. At 10 p.m., a violent thunderstorm shook the windows of Thunder Close and drenched the area with so much rain that every access road was flooded. There was simply no choice for Dr. Black's 6 guests. They had to spend the night. At midnight, the mansion was as still as a tomb. The only sounds, the sturdy drumbeat of the rain, and the roof of the slow tick, and on the roof, steady drumbeat of the rain on the roof, and the slow ticking of the numerous clocks. But within moments after the clocks had tolled midnight hour, the rain lightened, and the sound of muffled conversation could be heard from the vicinity of Dr. Black's library. Then there was only silence, followed by a horrifying punctuation mark. It was a scream of mortal agony. At first, the scurrying guests and frightened servants couldn't find the source of the chilling sound. Dr. Black wasn't in his downstairs bedroom, nor the living room, dining room, or study. He had last been seen in the library, but that room, too, was empty. It was Mrs. White who noticed the difference in the room. 2 damp spots on the carpet, directly in front of the table, with a chess game still in progress. When she pointed to them, the others, reminded of the rain still splattering against the glass, looked towards the French windows that opened onto the gardens of Thunder Close. One of the windows was ajar. It was Professor Plum who reached it first and flung it open. A gust of cold, wet air entered the library and made the guests shudder. Mustard, with his customary military bravo, led the way outside. The house lights lit the path ahead of them. They also clearly lit a single set of footprints embedded in the soft, wet earth of the freshly turned garden soil. They followed them in fascination until they came to their end, a terrible end. "Look," Vivian Scarlet cried, "by the rose bushes. There's something there. It looks like a body." "Don't touch it. Don't touch anything," Green said. "We must call the police." "But maybe he's still alive," Peacock said. "Maybe we should get medical help." "Alive?" Mustard said, his voice full of contempt. "Look again, dear woman. Look at his head." "Dear heaven," Mrs. White cried. "And here's the murder weapon," Vivian Scarlet said. Their eyes followed the bright red tip of her pointing fingers. It led to a length of lead pipe, laying only inches from the doctor's battered head. Not even the rain could wash away the blood that stained it. They looked into each other's faces, each one only too aware that they shared a common motive: hatred of the blackmailer. If one pair of eyes showed more guilt than any other, it was impossible to tell in the darkness of the garden. But one fact was quickly discernible, that it was Miss Peacock who put it into words. "Hasn't anyone noticed?" she said with a hint of hysteria. "Look at the ground. Look how wet it is. Look at the footprints we made getting out here." "I don't understand," the cook said. "Isn't it obvious?" Professor Plum said dryly. "There's only one set of footprints leading to the body. Obviously Dr. Black's own footprints." "What's so strange about that?" Miss Scarlet said. "Somebody must have called him out to the garden and then struck him down." "Doesn't sound very likely," the Reverend said nervously. "Why would he walk out in the rain?" "Even if he did," the colonel said, "the murderer would have had to have walked away from the crime scene, wouldn't he?" "It's just amazing," Miss Peacock said. "Murder in the damp garden, and no footprints? Who killed him? Marley's ghost?" "I think we should call the police," Miss White said. "And I think we should all talk it over first," the colonel said gruffly. "The police are liable to ask more questions than some of us care to answer. Do I make myself clear?" "He's right," Reverend Green said. "It was probably a tramp who killed him, but the police are liable to think it was one of us." "We'd better get our story straight," the professor said. "Now, where was Black when we all went to bed?" "Still in the library," Mustard answered, "cataloguing his damn books, putting them all in alphabetical order, the compulsive fool. The Reverend and I were playing chess while he worked." "I was there too," Miss Scarlet said, "watching them play." "The word is meddling," the colonel said. "I would have won the game if you hadn't told me to Castle. Cost me my damn bishop." "You should have known the Reverend was very good with bishops," Miss White tittered. "And where were you, Miss White?" the professor asked. "Well, since there was only one chessboard, Miss Peacock and I were both in the kitchen, making some cocoa." "That's right," Miss Peacock said. "And where were you, Professor?" "I was looking for a little light bedtime reading." "You know what I think?" Miss Scarlet said, beginning to shiver. "I think we should all go back in the library right now." By the time they reached the library, they discovered that the servants had already summoned the police. Only one of them had arrived, a small wispy inspector called Barnes, with a ragged mustache and very damp clothes. He looked for all the world like an old sheepdog that had fallen into the pond, and Miss Scarlet couldn't help but conceal a giggle of amusement. Less than an hour later, they discovered that the Inspector Barnes wasn't a sheepdog after all. After hearing their stories and studying all the fine artifacts displayed in the library, the inspector seemed more like a bloodhound. He quickly spotted the clues that identified the murderer of Dr. David Black. You can see the clues for yourself by assembling the jigsaw puzzle. Can you spot the clues that Inspector Barnes did? Can you unveil Dr. Black's murderer? Okay. Interesting. That was a shorter story this week. I see there's comments.
A little bit. It was, Sen was asking if we're going to do them on the weekends because she's got school through the week, so she can't.
Aww.
She was just going to bed, but she just thought she'd say hi. And then Eleanor was asking me if I had seen her hunt, her Halloween one, Chills and Thrills. So I don't know if it came in, did it come in through the chat or something else? I didn't see anything. Nothing's on my email. She's got her stories that she does.
Chills and Thrills. No, nothing's come to me anyway.
No.
No.
So I did not see it. I just checked my email. There was nothing there. Is there other one? Was like a boxcar murder one type of thing? That one I got.
Alright, now before I start, 1, you need to think of a time bet, and 2, anyone watching, dear, I'm wrecking the joint. So many things. I will throw it out there again if you guys want to vote. Ooh. Next week, I'm going to hang out with you guys all day on Wednesday. We'll probably start, we haven't decided exactly when we'll start yet. I'm thinking maybe around 11 or 12. But I need your help deciding on a 3,000 piece puzzle to do. So, you can either choose between the animals with stamps or the African animals. But you guys get to vote. And I think Casey's going to make a cool little thingamajig to pop up on the screen so you guys popping in can still see it. But yeah, let me know in the comments what one you guys want to see me put together next week while I hang out with yous. Down there, so let's wreck the place. Ooh, okay. Okay. This and this over here. Get my puzzle out. So, how long do you think it'll take me?
For 500?
500. No picture.
47 minutes.
Well, that doesn't seem like very much.
Sure it does.
No, it doesn't.
You said this is going to be an easy one.
What are you on? I think you just want it to be 47 minutes.
48 minutes.
Fine. Alright. That's all I'm going to squeeze out of you. By the way, I think the store has a chat.
Yeah, I already answered.
Oh, okay. Cool. Okay. You ready for this?
Well, yeah,
You ready?
The timer ready?
Dun dun. Yes, it's right there.
Okay.
I have it out. I'm not a cheater like you.
Okay.
Well, you gotta flip the camera.
Oh.
Yes, silly. Dun, 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 dun. And again, the person who had this last, they were nice enough to note that 2 pieces will be missing out of this puzzle, which is actually super nice of them. I always like it when people do that. Now, if I'd taken notice of that at the store, I may not have bought this one, but that's okay. That's alright. It's here now. It's nice to know I'm not expecting it to be a full puzzle. And go! At 48 minutes. Okay, so my theory already is that the one set of footprints were not the dead dudes, but I think they pushed him out the window or something.
I wasn't paying attention.
Well, you're no help. I like that they actually use the names of the real Clue characters, though. That's pretty cool. Did she maybe send it to the store email? That's something that just popped in my head.
No worries.
Hey, 2 pieces welded together. So this is really a 497 piece puzzle. To be precise. Hey, I'm gonna know what side is right side up this time.
There you go.
Because there's writing in the corner. Feels like cheating.
Nancy, sorry I missed most of the story, but I can see the puzzle. Casey's getting stingy with those minutes.
Right?
Eleanor, I vote stamps. Nancy, stamps. That's not what I thought. Well, that's gonna be easy.
See? Okay, I love that you guys are picking stamps because I was so hoping that's the one you guys would pick. I like, that's the one I'm most excited for. If my vote counts for anything here, that's the one I want to do. But I love them both mostly equally, so I would be happy to do either one. I'm so glad that you guys agree. Oh, yes, that's exciting. Oh, happy. And no worries about missing most of the story. Trust me. We were here for it, and we probably missed most of the story. It goes on so long. But it's one of those things that if you don't want the spoiler, you can always pause it and go back and hear. Like, honestly, I feel like the last few minutes of the story are kind of the most important. Like, as a basic rundown, they all had a reason to hate the guy. They were all being blackmailed by him for one reason or another. Pretty much just the part about them finding his dead body and there only being one set of footprints leading to them, leading to the body, seemed like the most important part to me. And that there were some kind of wet spots by the window of the library. It was raining. I'm thinking there was only one set of footprints because they pushed him out the window. And then the murderer went up to the body to make sure that he was still alive. Or dead, sorry. But that's my theory. Now, as the puzzle comes together, I might change that a little bit. But, I mean, if the clues are as hinky as from last week's puzzle, this might be a shot-in-the-dark guess.
Hinky?
Yeah, hinky. Deal with it. I said it. I'm sure it's an old person word, and for whatever reason you don't like it.
No, it's just,
It's just,
Right, like, it's, the only last time I ever heard that being said was in a movie.
Okay.
And, this is pretty hinky. What's hinky? It's like, it doesn't feel good. Something's not right. Why not just say something's not right? Why do you have to say hinky?
Because it's a funny word.
Well, no, but that's what's in the movie.
Bam, 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 bam. I'm excited for next week. It's going to be a little bit like the big puzzle all over again, but like not 26 of them, and 27, and there's an end to it. There's sleep. I keep most of my marbles.
stamps.
Yay! I like all these stamp votes.
Hinky. She's like, I've only heard that in old cop shows, and that's what that's from. It's like, what do you gotta say hinky for? Why did they say?
Maybe I just watch a lot of cop shows, apparently. Actually, I feel like I've probably heard it in a Nancy Drew game, I think. I think that's where I picked it up.
See, I'm on the 4th section of the Mickey, so the 500 piece is a nice break.
Ooh, that's exciting. How's Mickey coming? Is it frustrating you yet?
Oh, Hinky. Yeah, that's what it is. The Fugitive. That's what it was. Todd's like, hey, Casey and Max, hope this is well. I vaguely remember hearing that in The Fugitive. I was thinking, what's it for? Yeah, it's The Fugitive.
Hey, Todd. Thank you. I hope you're having a good week, too.
And then Nancy, I used to hear it on Adam 12 and Dragnet reruns.
See, other people have heard it.
I'm not saying it. It's an old saying. That's all. I didn't say that. People haven't said it before. I'm just saying.
Yes, Mr. Mope, okay. Here's the connector. What'd you do?
I should have done it in editing mode because it squished some of you, and I gotta fix it before everyone's like, where did she go?
I see you made an oopsie daisies.
Just there you go. If anyone missed it for a second, it's just
The world didn't end, I promise. Nothing exciting happened.
Todd. Doing well. Revoting. Whichever one you think will be longer, that way Sen can watch some of it. They're both 3,000, so I'm sure either one's going to take forever.
They'll both be pretty long streams. I'm sure she'll be able to catch some of it no matter what. What was his original vote? If you said you re-voted? Because Nancy and Eleanor both voted stamps. Did he?
He only has that one. It just says revote. Oh, regarding. It's RE.
Okay.
Regarding voting.
It'll be a nice long stream. And everyone can be part of it. Even people on the other side of the world again.
It's not frustrating at all. I love it, but it would kill me if I had to try to sit down and do it all at once. Yeah, absolutely. It's $100 for today's. And if you guys ever need anything, just grab it. We do it all day in. So you need a drink or something like that.
This is the only thing I need help with.
She's changed her clothes on trying to get set up for her juicy time.
Oh, cool. I really Googled it. And it says, like, the back part is all soft, but, like,
Shit is twist off.
I don't have, like, wait, they use a screwdriver.
So like mine, I just have to twist it.
What's that? Yeah, like, I literally just have, like, the back part where it says, like,
To do it? Oh, let's see.
he doesn't actually need a screwdriver. Yeah, he has to do it. I know. I will not. I cannot.
I forget what were we talking about before? I kind of lost track of the conversation.
How long is it? So it is a bigger one, bigger than that one. So it's the 2450 pattern, a little bit larger. This is the normal standard flush pattern. And it is, they used to do. So the key, this button there was the top this out. You just, here and here, you just kind of slide it down and pull forward.
Okay, amazing. Thank you.
And that's the.
Okay.
Sure, it's on, 4,000, 5,000 all day, 3,000 all day. I'm not sure what else.
What was the last comment? I think we were talking about Mickey, but
No. It was not frustrating at all. I love it, but it would kill me to try to sit down and do it all over again and once. Like the Puzzle Queen lady.
oh, well, thank you. But I'm sure you could do it. I mean, I am not lying. It would be hard. I believe in you. I'm sure that. I mean, it's hard to not sleep. It really is. But having fun with it is having fun with it, and I'm so glad you're enjoying it. One day, I really want to try it. It looks like a beautiful, beautiful puzzle. I ask if it was frustrating because it looks like it. I think I would feel frustrated with it, but only because I've never. I don't not like Mickey, but I've just never. Mickey's never been a huge thing for me. So to look at all the images, I'm like, not so familiar. At least with the Disney, it was things that I knew and recognized and all that good stuff. So that kind of helped a little bit. But Mickey all over the place would be like, oh my goodness, Mickey 3000, Mickey 8000. Oh, so many Mickey. Would make for a good challenge though. Hint, hint. Doesn't that sound like fun?
For the Mickey thing?
Seeing 5,000 Mickeys and not sleeping for a week?
Yeah, no.
You're no fun. Okay, 23 minutes. I might be able to do this. Might. You were awful, as they said, stingy with your minutes, though, so it's a little up in the air.
Bang on with my
I think
minutes.
you were a jerk.
I think I was bang on with my minutes.
You think so? Well, you know how much still needs to be done. Look at all that stuff. Look at all those pieces.
500 piece.
Mm-hmm.
Easy is 35.
Right.
Medium is 45, and hard is 50. And what did I give you? 48 minutes.
Wow, you're generous.
So between medium and hard.
Okay, and we have no way to know if this is an easy, medium, or hard puzzle because there is no picture.
I just did a Spider-Man puzzle without a picture.
Oh.
And I crushed the time.
And I'm sure you remembered part of it from your childhood.
Oh, yeah.
So the picture existed in your mind, you cheater. Trying to tell me cheating.
Crushed the time.
Crushed the time. I'll crush you.
Crushed it.
Crushed it.
Does add on 5
Mm.
They came in for chess.
Oh, did they?
Oh, they didn't come in for the chess club. And that was it.
Oh, they stayed long enough. I think they were.
Well, the guy, he's like, I don't really know. No, he didn't. He's like, I don't really know anything but chess. And she's like, well, you can play chess. And she's like, well, I don't know how to play chess. Like, well, I'll teach you how to play chess. So I think it was the 2-on-1. Two of them to try and beat
him.
Yeah, or something. Now they wanted receipts, so I'm curious as why they needed receipts.
I don't know.
Some type of write-off or proof or something. I'm wondering if they're also seeing if it was worth it to come here for other. They wonder if they were kind of also checking out the joint to see if maybe they work for or the education or like pathways type of thing, those type of programs, and they just like the other girl always needs a receipt.
I don't know. And some people just like receipts.
Yeah, it was offered both of them needing receipt. But like, I'm gonna need a receipt. She goes, I need a receipt too.
I don't know. No clue. Da, 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 da.
Seems to be going along pretty quick.
Yeah, but I don't think it's quick enough with the amount of time you gave me. Mr. Stinge.
Well, every time you put a piece in, that's one last piece you have to put in. And it always gets quicker because there's last pieces. Not to quote anyone, but...
Which is not untrue, but when there's a certain amount of pieces left, it's just not possible to finish in the teensy-eensy-weensy little time frame you gave me. That's all I'm saying.
And if you get it done in 47 minutes?
Then I'll clap my hands with joy that I don't have to eat beans and you do. I don't know what to tell you. Should I be sulky and miserable? And oh, Casey has to eat beans. Boo, the horror. Boo. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound like me.
Sure does.
No, I don't think so. That sounds more like you. Have to eat beans. Hate my job.
I don't like the hot beans.
Neither do I.
I can't even tell what the picture is.
I think it's books in the library with the chess set. Because remember they were talking about that.
I didn't listen to one part of that story. I can see the chess part, but what's the light thing that you got?
I have no idea.
A lampshade or something?
Maybe. Yes, a lampshade. Good call.
So then, is it upside down? On the side?
Most likely. Stop trying to distract me. I'll solve the clues when the puzzle's done. You're just trying to gain more time,
Well,
mister.
I couldn't figure what it was.
You
Like, why is there a lampshade on that side if the chess piece is up straight?
Truthfully, we don't know if the chess pieces are up straight yet. I'm just building at the moment.
Well, I think it probably is. Because they don't sit on their side. Something called gravity. So either the lampshade fell on its side, or you have to spin it.
Chess set goes here. Hooray!
I was in such a friggin' hurry.
Did someone correct you?
No, I just looked at it now. I was like,
Oh.
why does that look wrong? Like, oh, I spelled animal wrong. Well, that's gonna be great.
That's gonna be up on the internet forever. Casey doesn't know how to spell, everyone.
Stop rushing me. This is spelled stamps right.
No, the lampshade does not go on its side.
Imagine that. It balls. Fix that. Fix that. Hopefully no one notices it.
Just everyone reading it to vote. Silly goose.
Nancy, I did proofreading for 15 years, and I saw the animals, but didn't want to point it out. See if I didn't point mistakes out. I'd rather know the mistakes so I can fix it. I just was rushing so fast I didn't even realize I was typing.
But you can't type fast.
I did a whole little Photoshop thing. Put some flames in there, some of that. Like, I did it quick, and I didn't realize that I typed the animals so freaking...
Well, you've been holding out on me on your typing skills then. Why are you all of a sudden speed racer? Where did that come from?
Because I didn't want to be like, did you get it up yet? I was like, I'll get it up when I get it up.
It's okay, this is more funny.
And then it's like, Mickey isn't the challenge, it's the backgrounds and the edges. With the changing bubble colors, they're challenging.
Oh, that's right. It's probably just like the Disney one with its horrible stars on the outside. Oh, I feel your pain. I remember those. Oh my. But in bubbles, just as bad. Well, at least, I mean, you know, the one thing that I kind of like about it, it lets you get your money's worth because it lets you put your lots of time in. The glass half full approach. See, I'm already at 37 minutes. I'm gonna run out of time, you jerk. You shortchanged me.
Well,
Cheater, pumpkin eater.
you got very few pieces left. I guess maybe you're not a puzzle queen.
No, someone's just stingy. Stingy.
Someone's just smart with their time. Start now for next Wednesday.
Okay, just because you shortchanged me on time does not mean I've done this puzzle slow. It just means you did not give me enough time. That's all it means, plain and simple.
I think I gave you too much time.
No.
The only thing that you can, with this new top-down angle, you can see the gray hairs you're already starting to get.
Oh, please. That's you.
And by gray, I mean balding.
Right.
There's a big balding spot on top of your head.
Right.
I'm so tired. Karaoke's on.
Why, I just hear the radio.
That's what happens when you get older. You start losing your hearing.
Swing and a miss. I already know I'm deaf.
I know you are. You can't hear the karaoke next door?
I hear the radio.
No. Radio, yes. Karaoke, yes.
What?
I don't think you're gonna make it.
Well, whose fault is that?
Oh.
For giving me no time.
I had bets on you too.
Alright.
Oh no, I lost. Darn it.
You would never bet on me.
Nope.
You don't believe in me enough.
Nope.
Oh, no, well, now I can. Now that the radio's quieter, there's really just... I wonder if they get more traction for that through the winter because it's indoors rather than outdoors.
I'm sure. I think most people just want to do something, but they'd rather do it outside when it's nice. Especially because, you know, how many times were we not allowed to go to parks?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Had I known you were going to be so slow, I would have taken a nap.
You've got a job to do. You gotta read the comments. You can't shirk your only duty.
No new comments. Boom, done.
Mm-hmm.
Nancy. It must be nice, Maxine, to have a business partner who treats you with such kindness and respect. Choking now.
Right? Ah, he's a pill. But sometimes he's okay. I was even nice to him today, too.
You're busy painting. You weren't being nice. You're busy painting.
I didn't tickle you once.
Yeah, that's because I also fed you. That would just be cruel.
Nope, I hadn't tickled you even before that.
I know that, but when you were busy the whole time, but you could have, then you realized, oh, I shouldn't.
No, I think I was just in a nice mood today, and you're taking advantage of that kindness and kind of making me regret it. I mean, between not giving me enough time and all the snarky comments, I kind of feel like tomorrow you might want to come to work wearing your fear. because you never know what you're going to find in your desk.
Well, it's nothing. It's not gonna be a bug.
There are other things that are bad that I like that you probably won't.
What?
I like snakes.
Where are you gonna find a snake this time of year?
Online. You can find anything online.
Online? Have it shipped tomorrow. Okay.
Sure. You see how fast Amazon is shipping things these days. I'll probably get it in the middle of the night.
They're gonna ship a live snake?
Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay.
You could buy anything online. Sometimes it's like they don't even know what they're shipping. I mean, So.
Okay.
Mhm.
Someone's drunk.
No. Come on. They have to ship so many packages. Do you really think they they take the time to pay attention to what they're shipping? No! They got way too much to do.
It's because they got robots that do it.
Yes, see? So the robot's going to care even less. It's just going to be like, sure, movie slithery thing, inbox, go. So how does it feel to know that you won by cheating?
I won by giving the exact amount of time that you needed to do this. It's not my fault you're slow.
Considering that you don't yet know the exact amount of time that I needed to do this, you just lied. Now you're a cheater and a liar. Oh, wait, they already knew that because you're Pinocchio. Goodness. Now I'm slipping. Look at what you've done. Is it contagious?
No.
I think it's contagious. Something you can catch. I better get tested. I wonder how you get tested for the Casey flu.
Can't.
Science isn't advanced enough yet. That's why they've not been able to help you.
I think I could zoom this in a bit more. It's on autofocus again. Yeah, see, it reset its zoom. It's a little bit of a... Your head's in the way a lot. Oh, Lord.
Shh. No. Oh, we can always go back to the other angle.
It's just for whatever reason. This one, your head's in it a lot. I don't know why you're... Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just because it's a smaller puzzle.
Maybe. tried to tell you you didn't give me enough time, but you wouldn't listen.
You gave me the exact amount of time.
Men, they don't like to listen.
If there's any one person in this room right now who doesn't like to listen, that would be you.
Uh-huh. Right, well... Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
No,
Uh-huh.
I was going to say something, but I'm going to be nice, and I won't. So, you're welcome. Okay, well, you know what? You get this tone that, like, when you're talking like it, I just know you're not hearing a word I'm saying. It's just coming out like, blah, 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 ah, blah, 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 ah, blah, 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 blah.
You can tell when you're not listening at all. Nancy likes the old angle better.
Oh, we can always go back to it. If it shows
this is a smaller one, Nancy. I don't know if you saw last week where the puzzle was bigger, so you had to see it in the right framing of it. So you weren't watching it from the side. Now, granted, the next one is going to be 3,000, so it's going to be a massive amount on the table. So you'll pretty much only see puzzle and barely see her head. I mean, I could flip them. Tell me if you like this better. Or the overhead's the smaller portion of it. Let me see here. We'd have to do something with the clock, but I could do. This, and then you're seeing the side of it and the top down. If you pull that timer down a bit, closer to you. Yeah.
I lost the Play-Doh piece.
So I don't know if it's better to see it being built from the side, and the top down is just a small window. You like this new view better? Well, you can stick with this.
It's all an experiment. It's just all playing with it and seeing what comes out the best.
Either way, whatever angle we put it at, she's still slow. So
Wah wah.
can't speed that up.
Wah ba ba. I'm sorry, I don't speak whatever is coming out of your mouth.
Intelligence.
No. You
I
think
don't
you think you're funny.
That was funny.
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
what's coming out of your mouth.
Right, you know what else is really funny? The noises you make when you're
Stop
tickled.
it. You're screwing up your own time. For every minute that you're over, it's another theme.
Oh, I never agreed to that.
Too bad. You're not done yet. Look at you're gonna stop it.
Now that's funny.
I almost had a peaceful day today. Almost.
Well, you have no one to blame but yourself.
Like a half hour away from having almost a.
You know what?
Nice, quiet
Yep,
day.
you had absolutely no one to blame but yourself.
Almost-
I'm sorry.
Almost there.
You should really learn to behave yourself. It's called manners. Okay. Now, here's hoping
Shush.
that
Shush.
you shush.
Shush.
You shush.
Shush.
You shush. Shush, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Oh, then. Well, that's only one piece missing. I don't think that person knows how to count very well. It was nice of them to give me the heads up that pieces are missing, but that's just one. Okay. Anyways. Yep. That's a library with books and a lamp. There's glasses. There's a chessboard. But I don't really take anything from that, do you? In terms of clues.
I'm gonna just flip it over.
Like there's I'm gonna turn those out for a minute. Less glare. Well, there's two glasses here, but they already said that the two of them were playing chess, so I don't know how that's helpful. The pen on top of the books is maybe something, but like I don't know what. The fact that the pawns and the queen are I don't know. Do you have any ideas?
No. It was probably where the missing piece is. So that's all.
Okay, well, where did I put that story? Okay, well, they said Mrs. White and Miss Peacock were having tea or whatever together, so they have an alibi. Miss Scarlet was annoying Green and Mustard playing chess. That only leaves Mr. Plum without an alibi, I guess. He said he was looking for some light reading, I think. I don't know. I guess him, because he was the only one not with someone, unless one of them is lying, but, like... Or are they trying to say that maybe it was one of them because the chessboard is there?
Maybe. The shadow in the book is pointing to the killer's name right there. Read it.
No.
Yes, it is. You guys, you need glasses. 2. So the two of them, and below that it says his.
Okay.
So it was the man who was reading.
You're just you're just pulling things out of thin air. Because yes, that is below, but like you had to no one would just be like that. That's not a clue.
Sure it is.
Okay, unless anyone else has any guesses, I'm going with the dude who was by himself, Mr. Plum, and I really think that they pushed him out a window or something, and there was only one set of footprints because he checked to make sure they were dead. That's what I got. I got nothing from this. I could be plain and simple about it. Who's your guess?
I have no idea.
Okay, you don't know. No guess for you.
No.
All right, and if no one else has any guesses or anything, any comments or anything I'm missing?
No.
All right. Okay. The solution. Hello, everyone in red. Okay. The damp spots on the library carpet were clearly made by the killer, who returned to the library after bludgeoning Dr. Black. But a careful observer can determine that the murder took place in the library, itself, since the chess pieces on the board were not in their proper positions while they were playing. Obviously, they had been knocked over in a struggle and replaced by someone who didn't know how chessmen were arranged. Then, the killer removed Dr. Black's shoes, put them on, and carried the dead body out to the garden. He put the shoes back on the dead man's feet and retraced the footsteps in his socks, but when he returned to the library, he was unaware that Dr. Black had already named his murderer. Sitting on the table, no longer in alphabetical order, were 4 of Dickens' works. Pickwick Papers, Little Dorrit, Uncommercial Traveller, and Martin Chuzzlewit. The first letter of each title spelt out the name of the man who had been threatening Dr. Black just before the murderer, the non-chessman Dr. Plum.
Holy crap.
How would you ever come up with that?
How would you know that the chess pieces are in the wrong spot?
Right? They're just blurry.
Well, that and it's in the middle of a game. Like, they're not...
Right?
If it was a row of pawns and a row of the top... play like the pieces, then you would know, like, well, it's not. They got some pawns in the back.
Yeah. Right, like they would have done better to almost put like all the main players out where the pawns should go, and the pawns like.
And then the Dickens books, is that right behind the puzzles?
That's these things,
okay,
yes.
Well, that one maybe.
Maybe, and I mean, I guess they did mention a million times that he likes his things in alphabetical order, but. Okay, but look at how small those things are. Is this supposed to tell us? Okay, no. So nothing gets, like, highlighted or anything like that.
No, that should have been a double thing. That should have been a magnifying glass and red.
Like, if it...
Red filter.
Yeah.
So you could have done both things.
Yeah. Okay, well, I don't think the clues were as terrible as last week's puzzle, but...
They weren't great.
Pretty darn close. Like, that chess thing, I never would have got that. And, like... And the thing said that they were in the middle of a game. That was the two people's alibi. So I would just make the assumption that it's like, are you trying to say it's one of them? These mystery puzzles are hard. It's almost a good thing that we're doing those 3,000-piece puzzles next week. Well, one of them, not both of them. One of them, whatever one you guys land on, I will do. I will do happily because I like them both. It's looking like stamps right now, though, which, yay, that makes me happy. Yay. I like the stamps one. I did finish in exactly 1 hour, 56 minutes. See? You didn't give me enough time.
I was off by 8 minutes. You could have sped that up 8 minutes. It's not my fault that you were slow.
You're slow. You're slow. All right. I will spin my wheel unfairly because someone's a cheater, pumpkin eater. And I hit my narwhal, so I don't know what to do. I guess it's whatever he points at. Oh.
Yay!
No.
Yes,
We're respinning that. Yeah, I just did. Too bad. Now we don't know what it landed on. I'm not doing that.
I saw it in 2 cameras.
Oh, well.
It landed
No! What is up with that?
That's what you get. That's
wow.
Karma.
Wow, these are all going to be horrible. It doesn't even matter.
Karma.
1, 2, 3.
You know exactly what the...
Oh! Okay, well, I'll get the worst one out of the way first. Apple juice. Ooh. Woo. Ah. Woo. Yeah. is gross. I'm gonna really feel that fire after. Whew.
Good.
All right.
No.
No. Okay. Before I go, I want to give a huge shout out to AMG because she was the first person to buy a puzzle from us, which is super awesome. Well, technically, Drew and Danny were the first ones. They get a huge shout out too. She got a really cute Care Bears puzzle, by the way. We will eventually get that back in stock. It was adorable. Am asked me to sign this. So, I don't want to wreck the front of the box. I think I should sign the back of it.
Sign the back.
Unless you're watching Am right now and you'd rather I sign the front of it. But I think I'm gonna sign the back so I don't ruin the picture on you. Actually, if I just do this, then most of the shrink wrap stays on the box and we can just tape the shrink wrap back up.
Let's see as well. Let me pull this. Oops. That's it.
Oh, nice. You're working on a puzzle too, Todd? Okay.
Go up more over the wheel, and we can see you signing it.
Oh, well, I'm not going to be able to read my writing, but... Oops.
That's what he's saying. Max's
There we
own
go.
peaceful days. Spider-Man didn't do that for you.
Right. Alrighty.
Todd's coming.
Thank you, Am. You'll have your puzzle in the mail tomorrow. That's exciting. Is that back there? All signed. Alright, you guys. Thank you for watching. If you want to check out our website, it's sweetscapes.ca. Coupon code, if I could speak, is Puzzle Queen 10. That'll get you 10% off your puzzles. We do ship internationally now, so if that is something you want to check out, by all means, feel free. We have the coolest merch ever. All kinds of puzzles for the taking. Thank you all for watching. It was a blast. I cannot wait to see what the votes turn out for which puzzle I'm doing next week. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good night, everyone. Are you going to say goodbye?
No, I'm trying to read the comments.
Okay.
You're on camera. I'm just
Why are they
reading.
not wearing
I was challenging myself to finish the last 50 pieces of mine before you could finish yours. I failed.
Hey, it's okay. Doesn't matter. You tried, and that's the important thing. And I believe in you. I know you can still finish those pieces. Besides, hey, going into this, I really thought this was going to be a 1,000-piece puzzle anyway. So, give yourself